the Western idea of that, materialistic wealth and these types of things, it's all a scam. Like, I was realizing that this life didn't make sense. And then I was like, okay, well, what type of life does make sense? It's actually necessary for God to exist, for the universe to exist. I tried so hard not to be Muslim.
Yeah.
Because I knew what it meant. At this point, either I'm going to die knowing Islam is the truth and not accepting it, or I'm going to be a Muslim.
Learning Quran, people have to imagine, like, this is a guy who a year ago did not believe in God. He didn't come from a background of faith, didn't have that kind of social fabric around religion. So the fact that now he's come into religion and now he is, almost like an ambassador for us in many different faculties, it's honestly, it's remarkable even just to see it up.
I always thought that I was on whatever opinion I had on any topic, I always would think it's the logical, most rational opinion. And then if it's not, or if I started to have doubts on that being the case, then I would go and I would do my research on it to come to a better conclusion, right? That's for everything: politics, how I want to live my life, religion, God, all this. But I realized that God and religion was one of the topics that I just never took the time to really think through.
Right.
It seems so taboo and so, if you believe in God, you're crazy, basically, right? And delusional. And so I started to realize I believed those things without really having a reason to believe them. I think that we're fed an idea through, whether we're conscious about it or not, of how our life should look, what success means, what happiness is, what is the true purpose or goal, right? And just started to realize that the Western idea of that, materialistic wealth and these types of things, it's all a scam. Like, I started to realize how much of a scam it is to get people to buy into a system that really doesn't have your best interest in mind. And really, you're playing a game that you're playing a game that you feel you're stuck in. And once you get in, it's very hard to get out.
Yeah.
And when you leave, when you end the game, you end with nothing. You go into your grave and you die, and that's the end. I was realizing that this life, in terms of capitalism and stuff like this life didn't make sense. And then I was like, okay, well, what type of life does make sense? So anyways, I started to go through just the theories and opinions of whether God exists or not, listening to debates and reading articles and stuff. And by the end of that whole, by the end of that search, just on God's existence, I came out of it realizing that it's actually necessary for God to exist, for the universe to exist. And so I started basically looking at people that believed in God as delusional, and ended looking at people that didn't as delusional, and like they were trying to just hide away from reality. And so after that, I started to search through religions, kind of going through each one, poking at them, trying to disprove them. And Islam was the last one that I looked into, and it was the only one that I couldn't. I tried so hard not to be Muslim. Because I knew what it meant, I knew what it means in terms of the rules and from that side, I knew what I would have to give up. And if it was the truth, then I knew the only logical thing is to follow it exactly, right? So I tried so hard to poke holes in it, and at the end I just basically said, look, I at this point, either I'm going to die knowing Islam is the truth and not accepting it, or I'm going to be a Muslim. It doesn't make sense. Why would I do anything in any way that displeases God or transgresses his rights upon us? Can't lead to good. It can't lead to objective good. Not 1%, right? So then the only logical thing is to just go in the path that seems that seems the most pleasing to him.
World of Hollywood, although he's 19, on screen, how old do you normally play?
On screen I would play anywhere from probably 16 to 19. Right. But a lot of the time, those types of roles that they want you to play is the high school, partying, drinking.
He literally is the heartthrob, by the way.
Heartthrob type of character. And it was just, I said, I'm not doing this on camera, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. And she's like, look, this is all the breakdowns are for you right now. This is all the roles that are on the...
At the age of 19, even searching for God and trying to understand like your purpose. People 90 years old on their deathbed have not had these conversations with themselves. SubhanAllah. So and this is how the beauty of hidayah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can guide whoever he wants, and that's the beauty of Islam. Like, it's like, you don't know who will be exposed to this message. And I think that's the beauty of us even giving da'wah. And I think, although really, he kind of just gave himself da'wah. He's kind of like you didn't really have anyone in your ear, like forcing you.
Actually, that's so true.
It's kind of like a self-cleaning oven. Like, he just kind of figured it all out on his own, literally from YouTube.
I was just locked in my room for probably like 4 or 5 months. spent pretty much 6 to 8 hours a day. Like I treated it like a job or school, you know, just like, okay, I finished work. I've got some time off. Let me just make this my work. When you decide it's an important question and you really conceptualize the importance of it, then there's no other like thing worth doing. There's no point in spending your life doing anything other than searching for a purpose. Because if you don't do that, or if you don't even search for the truth, an objective truth, then what's the point of anything else?
Yeah.
Right? If you're not on an objective reality, then you're just living a delusion, right?
Yeah.